and welcome to the how to chain like Ploto video. If you guys saw my past streams, I was chaining for 90% of the streams because I was trying to get top honor during that KVK. So people were asking, make a how to chain video. So here it is. To begin, why you should chain? Well, one, it's really good for your accounts because if you chain, it's kind of like 2-for-1 value type of proposition over here. It's like if you're buying something on sale because you're hitting one barb for the price of 2 or 3 in terms of AP. It is 100% necessary if you want to get top 20 efficiently. Meaning you could probably 5 March, 7 March brute force barbs if you have like a million AP, but it is super inefficient to do so because, you know, chaining is just so much more efficient. And as you saw, I was able to get first place just chaining. So the AP that you use is just maximized to the fullest extent, getting as much speed ups, as much resources, and if you're in Season of Conquest, as much crystals as possible. So yeah. So what is chaining? Well, chaining barbarians is when you hit barbarians with AoE. So for example, in this clip, I'll show my Richard YSG hitting 2 barbarians at once due to the YSG circle AoE. And that actually makes it so that the barbarian hits you and you're able to kill it without actually spending the AP to get the rewards and stuff. So who to chain with? My pairs I used for this past Season of Conquest KVK was Richard YSG and Double C Theo. So the reason why I use Richard YSG is because Richard is super tanky and the YSG is just needed to chain the barbs. So you're able to just chain endlessly. And my second pair is Double C Theo. Mainly because Double C is a good source of mobility. One thing that I find is sometimes like it's hard to maneuver around the barb, so Double C completely negates that. And then Theo is a circle AoE, and Double C is also actually, let me go back to that, is a peacekeeping commander. So you actually save 10 AP every single time you start a chain. So, and he has healing factor. The only thing about Double C that is kind of tedious is he has single target skill damage and he is a primary commander. So he's going to be activating that before your Theo. So you just got to make sure that your barb is still at yellow health before you start chaining because your Double C might just kill it before your Theo activates its skill. Some other commanders that you could use chaining is Ethelfled Charles. I used that during KVK 1, 2, and 3 when we didn't have Theo yet. So if I want to double chain, I'd double chain with Ethelfled. The only thing is Ethelfled's good because she's a peacekeeper too, but her AoE is only a semicircle, so it's not fully, you know, a full circle, so it's a bit harder to chain with her. I definitely like using Ethelfled as a primary with Charles because it's the same thing with Double C where it's a peacekeeper, you save 10 AP, and Charles gives that tankiness so you could stay out there longer. You could just play around with those commanders that I mentioned, so Richard, YSG, Theo, Ethel, Double C, Charles, Lohar, and Boudica. Lohar and Boudica, they have healing factor, they do single target damage, but you know, any peacekeeper at that point can fit the mold. Next, let's go to best chaining practices. I have some certain rules that I have when I chain. So the first thing I do is I plan my route. I look at a group of barbs, for example, and I try to plan the most strategic way to maneuver around them. I kind of see it like as a maze. So it's like, all right, so if I go here, I could chain all of these barbs rather than if I start at the middle or something, I can only chain half. Another thing is know your limits. You might think a barb is chainable and then it isn't, so you just end up losing the barb forever. So like I would just stay humble. If you have a good chain going already, just stay with that chain. And then another thing is if it's for honor, try to aim for a 0.5 AP to honor ratio. So for example, let's say hitting a barb's 40 AP, so then that would mean for my chain I tried to hit a minimum of 20 honor. So that would mean 2 level 36 plus barbs, or, you know, just doing the math in your head. But yeah, those are just some chaining best practices in my opinion. And then for some chaining techniques, this is the juicy stuff right here. I made up these terms. I don't know if other people have other terms for them, but I'm just going to call it what I've called it. This is what I call leashing. So leashing is actually when you use another march to drag barbarians into your AoE so that they could get hit by the circle AoE, extends your chain practically. Each barbarian has a spawn point, and from that spawn point it like kind of roams around, but there's only a certain limit, a certain threshold that the barbarian will automatically, no matter what, will start walking back to where it spawned. Leashing kind of allows for the barbarian to meet in the middle by pulling the barbarian towards your chainer. It allows you to go farther in terms of your chain. Also remember, while doing this, have your leasher kill the barbarian with your chainer as soon as you chain another barbarian, or as soon as you want to end your chain because you used AP to hit that barb, so you still want to get the rewards for hitting it. If you want to, you could actually leash with another account. So for example, I have my farm here and my Richard with my YSG chaining. I'm going to be on another device, hit the barb, and then drag it into the AoE. So this circumvents the extra AP that you may use otherwise if you were leashing with the other account. This makes leashing 100% AP free on the account that you're chaining with. So just a little something. Another thing is reset chaining. So when you hit a barb and you don't kill it, you actually can still hit it for free. As long as you don't bring your march home or you don't hit another barb or anything like that, you could still bring your march to hit it without AP. So what you may find is that there are multiple areas from when you hit a barb you could chain. So what you can do is chain one side and then let go of the aggro, or like walk away from the original barb so that it de-aggroes. And then once you're done chaining that side that you were chaining, you could go back to that original barb, hit it again, and then chain another side. So essentially you're starting 2 chains for the price of 1. Yeah, that's reset chaining. Double chaining. Double chaining is just using 2 marches at the same time to chain. This is what I was doing throughout my streams during this KVK. Yeah, it's practically the same thing as chaining, except you get double the honor because you have double the marches. So double chaining for me would be Richard YSG and double C Theo. Those are the 2 marches that I use. And then finally is walking. So sometimes if you try to overextend a little bit too much, the barb starts running away. And sometimes people just like rage hit it, like, oh, I'm going to target it. But what you can actually do is you can make your march walk close to it. And when it walks close to it, if it's close enough, this is where the double C is super useful. It still actually attacks the barb. If you just let it like walk close to the barb, it'll actually still hit the barb so that the aggro keeps going and the combat keeps going. So if you're able to actually walk it back to its spawn point, you could still be hitting the barb and you don't lose that barb chain at all. So you have to keep in mind, you have to stop and walk. So, but yeah, these are just some techniques. Hopefully it was useful, and maybe I'll make, if there's enough requests, I'll make a how to hit top 20 video. But yeah, these are all my secrets. They're all out there now. That's how I got first place in Season of Conquest. Honor points. So my secret's out. If you guys learned anything from this video, subscribe to this up-and-coming content creator. Feel free to leave a like and any suggestions for upcoming videos. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.